Grand Rising, wonderful souls, and welcome to Bronwen's Cove Tarot. If you are a new face, welcome in. It's really good to see you. And if you are an old face, welcome back. I'm glad that you came back. Sit down, get yourself comfortable, because you know what my reads are like. There's been no bees today, which is really good. I say that, but the windows are open. Anything could happen, right? I just got out some incense with the intention of cleansing away any negative energies or attachments. Or I heard people listening in, like when neighbours put a glass to a window, to the wall to listen to some more. So I'm actually setting the intention that as you're watching this incense is actually cleansing and removing anything that may be trying to attach to you. Okay. I heard for the highest and greatest good. I heard someone say the Holy Power, the Holy Trinity. Okay, right, so there you go. And then there was an alarm the minute I said that. Well, okay, right. Let's crack on, shall we? Now, I do apologise for any noise that you hear, especially if you are a new face. You will not know that I live next to a train station, like literally the barriers. I can look out, I can see the barriers going down right now, okay? And I'm also on a crossroads. Great, so it's always busy here. And I can either have the windows closed and the fire alarm will go off because it's so sensitive with incense, or I can have them open, okay? So I don't know why I need to tell someone that. Someone here is really anxious, or someone's talking like they're over-explaining themselves. Someone is over-explaining themselves here. I heard feeling misunderstood. Someone may want to come towards you because they're feeling misunderstood. Someone is trying to be brave or courageous. Please remember that my readings are collective, they are general. It may feel like a personal reading, but know that if you really want to have deep accuracy, you may wish to have a reading with me. You don't have to. I have many videos on my channel that you can go through instead. If I say he, she, masculine or feminine, know that we all hold these energies. So as I'm going through this reading, you can either leave the gender roles as they are if I say he or she, or you can swap them around, or you can get rid of them altogether, because I'm actually just talking about energies unless I say woman or man, and even then you can swap it over. Know that I am not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I don't claim to be any of those things, and if anything comes up that really resonates in those areas and with law or lawyers, make sure you're speaking to them before you take any advice from me. Okay, let's crack on. Now, the messages that came through, like the channeled messages that came through, and the thing is as well, as I've started doing this reading, I am so out of breath. I am so out of breath, and I can feel like weight on my chest, right on my heart chakra and on my throat. There is something heavy weighing on someone. They want to say something, but I heard they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to hurt you. Let me put down heart and throat. Heavy breathing. I don't know if someone's got asthma here. The message was, though I cannot see it, I feel it deeply. So this could be somebody having an epiphany or going through some sort of dark night of the soul. It could be a psychic connection. It could be divine love. You also have the primal urge to scream. Someone here, wow, okay, that might be what this is. What I'm feeling is someone not expressing themselves. Deep regret is what I heard. I hurt you badly, deep regret. This person wanting to scream. I don't know what chaos is ensuing or what chaos is around them, but I feel like someone is spiraling out of control and then holding breath and counting down, or there's a countdown as someone's holding their breath. It's giving me that energy. That's why I'm feeling this. It's almost that energy of like diving, like when you go on holiday and you go on vacation, you go to the beach and you're like, oh, I want to jump onto the waves, and you have to really hold your breath. And then trying to push against the pressure of the water to get yourself down, and you've got to hold it. That's what I'm getting. And someone's counting. Someone's counting as they're holding their breath. And then I also heard, take it slow and count your steps. And I got that was to do with either healing or to do with physical healing. Like if, for example, let's say you've been in an accident, and this is actually part of a story that I had. I had to teach myself to learn to walk again. About 5 years ago, I injured my back, and I was in hospital, and they had to check. They kept me in because they thought I may have had equiacordia, which is where all of the nerves that are in your spine, they all go down to your coccyx, and then they spread out down your legs. And they weren't sure if I had equiacordia, which is where there is a tightening at the bottom of your coccyx, so you could be paralysed. and I had to be monitored, and then I had to teach myself to walk again because I love the NHS. The NHS, you know, the National Health Service that we have in Britain, but at the same time it's very it's very underfunded, and I wasn't given physio. I just had to teach myself. I had to do basic yoga. I was on a Zimmer frame for quite a long time. Then I was on crutches, then a walking stick, and then I'm back to where I am now. I feel like for someone here, there's been an injury of some sort. Now, this injury can either be, it can be an actual emotional injury with taking that slow and counting your steps. It's almost like when you think of the hanged one or the hanged man next to the Seven of Pentacles, it's take your time with whatever it is that you're healing, taking your time and seeing how far you've come, because there is that saying, isn't it, that if you take one step every day, within a year you've taken 365 steps. You are no longer anywhere where you were the year before. And if this is also to do with like physical healing, for someone it's physical healing, whether that's you've been in an accident and you've been injured, or you are trying to strengthen your body, do not push yourself. Do not compare yourself. Because I'm hearing workout videos. If you are doing workout videos, do not compare yourself to the person who's doing the workout video, because everyone's journey is different, but the way that they look may have not been the way that they looked 3 years ago. And if you're doing it only for the way that you look, then you're missing out a massive a lesson of some sort, because take it slow and count your steps. Someone is being told to actually not be grateful, but it's almost like appreciate yourself for how far you have come in your physical journey, whether that is physical therapy, whether that is working out because you want a stronger back or stronger legs. Be gentle with yourself. Because what else came up as well was, why do you let people talk to you like that? And there was a linked question as well with, why are you telling yourself these things, intrusive thoughts and worthiness? These are linked together. I was getting a divine masculine rather than divine feminine, but you have to take it as it resonates. There is someone here who, they either think badly of themselves, or they're really harsh on themselves, on the expectations that they either place on themselves or other people place on them, and they allow that. Okay, why are you telling yourself these things? Intrusive thoughts, worthiness, I'm not worthy enough, I'll never have love, or I'll always have a jelly belly. I've got a jelly belly. Seriously, I've been working out, but me personally, it's taken me in 6 months. In 6 months, I've started working out, and I've lost 24 pounds, nearly 30 pounds in 6 months. And I know that doesn't sound impressive in 6 months, but it's because I'm not trying to impress anyone. I don't care if people say well done or not. It's very nice if you do. If you don't, so what? Because I'm not losing weight and toning up and, you know, supporting my back and all the rest of it for anyone else but me. And there is no set time that this has to be done. And someone here needs to hear that with whatever routine, whatever healing they're going through, whether that is mental, whether that is emotional, whether that is physical, that it's not a race. It's not a race. The only person that you're competing with by doing that is yourself. You need to be your own counselor, your own cheerleader when it comes to these things. So stop telling yourself intrusive thoughts, or stop telling yourself things that put you down, and don't let other people talk to you like that either. Now, the other questions that came out were, are you waiting for me? So someone here is working on themselves for you rather than working on themselves for themselves, okay? And that is a lose-lose situation whenever that happens, and the car just honked as I said that. And then the last one was, for personal reasons, I tap out. So I feel like someone here is being really harsh on themselves, on their healing journey or their physical journey, or it's almost like there's this set expectation. If I do this, this and this, then with that, are you waiting for me? That could be a friend, it could be a romantic partner that you're no longer with, it could be a family member. There's something here with comparing themselves maybe to you and your journey and where you are. Like for me, I follow, she's called Growing Ananas on YouTube. I love her energy. Her energy is so genteel and beautiful and inspiring, but she's a completely different body shape to me. And she has a really flat tummy and she's really tiny, but she does all these workout videos. And she's inspired me to become more present with my own workouts, and I don't compare the fact that I have a round tummy that I'm working on and she doesn't. And someone here needs to do the same. They need to do the same. Sorry, it's getting so noisy. For some reason, I was really cool to getting out straight away these I Miss Us. I'm going to close these windows. I said I wouldn't, but all of a sudden, it's really noisy. Better. Just one window. Now it says I Miss Us, okay, straight away underneath. This could be a romantic partner, this could be an ex. I'm getting Libra for someone, this is an air sign. Cancer for others. They may have a lot of Cancer placements. You may have a lot of Cancer placements. But even trying to put these cards back together, it was really, they were all stuck. I'm hearing the theme tune from Dawson's Creek, which is like a really old school program. Somebody commented in one of my readings, I don't know if it was on here or on North Star, nobody watches the TV that you do. Obviously people do. They're not making the shows just for me, all right? Stay grounded. I will dance with you forever in this life. This is, I don't know, this feels like an old energy. I cannot stand to be apart from you anymore. This feels like an old energy. God is helping me right now and it's upside down. What did this person do? You're the reason for my existence. You give me hope. So if I read out these messages again now with this heart and throat, this person wanting to scream, I feel like this person, it may be having a bit of a mental health issue. And please remember, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose any of those things. I can only tell you the messages that are coming through. If you feel like this resonates for you or for someone that you know, please make sure that you are reaching out to the professional support areas, such as a therapist, your doctors, mental health nurse, anything like that, okay, for yourself or whoever this person may be. And there goes an ambulance, okay. So this says divine timing is working for us, and I know I made a mistake. I feel like with that, you know, God is helping me card being upside down, this person may not be religious, or they may be going through a dark night of the soul and not realising this, okay, that this is actually happening for them. There's something, I heard someone who needs to grow up, or this person needs to grow up. Why do you let people talk to you like that? I feel like this person likes to make themselves a bit of a martyr in some way, or this person at the moment is feeling very victimised. I know I made a mistake and divine time is working for us. Maybe this person is having some sort of spiritual awakening. I cannot stand to be apart from you anymore. Okay, can I get 2 cards to represent who this person is? Okay, I've got 3. And can I also have 2 to 3 cards on how the collective feel about this connection or feel about this person? Please and thank you. Honest answers only. Thank you. And can I get 1 or 2 more, please? 1 or 2 more. Thank you. 1 or 2 more. Thank you. Okay. So we have, I'm sorry for what I did to you is upside down. I choose you. You are the one for me is upside down. And the best is yet to come. This is somebody who is flitting between missing you, feeling like you're the one and only, and then blaming you for where they are. This is where I was getting this victimizing kind of martyrdom. I'm sorry for what I did to you. So at one moment they're missing you, and then they're going, but I didn't do anything wrong. What the heck? And then they're missing you again. This person's mental health is all over the place. I choose you. You're the one for me. So they're going from I love you, I miss you, I choose you, to I don't want anything to do with you. F you. The best is yet to come. They're fully aware that there isn't any space on the path that you are walking for them. But I also feel like with that, are you waiting for me? They may have been given some sort of message. Why do I hear a dream message? That they shouldn't be asking, they shouldn't expect that you are waiting for them. Or they shouldn't be expecting you to put your life on hold for them to be ready, is what I heard. Now you've got here, our prayers and visualizations are manifesting. So you've blocked this person, or you've removed this person, or you've walked away from this person. I heard is enough, okay? Look away, I'm about to make a move. And there seems to be a very kind of, you can watch as much as you want, because I feel like there is an obsessive energy coming from this person, this past person. You can watch as much as you want. Watch as much as you want, because I am moving on. I am moving on. And you also have stop overthinking. Wow, and it's upside down. It's almost like, I don't give a crap what you're doing. You lead your life and I'll lead mine. There is a bit of a defensiveness coming from somebody in the collective over who this person is from the past. So that may actually be an encouragement from the divine for you to have a look at that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with hurting, there's nothing wrong with still having wounds, as long as we know that they are there, and that we are from time to time, whatever is comfortable with us and on the pace that we are on, that we are looking at that we are pouring light and love into it. Because, for example, I'm newly single. I don't know why, I feel like Spirit is telling me that I need to kind of share more of my life with my soul family, and a lot of tarot readers don't do that. And I can understand there needs to be a line between professionality, so I'm not going to tell you my entire life story. But I was with somebody for nearly 4 years, a lovely person, but there was codependency that was encouraged by me because of my wounds onto this person. And we split 6 months ago because of my choice to kind of better my boundaries and my self-worth of not needing to over nurture when it comes to relationships. And that's a wound that I think that is nearly healed, but there's still parts there that need to be healed also. And I am vulnerable and emotionally mature enough to see that, and there's an encouragement for someone here to do the same thing. Now you've got clean-up time underneath, and I'm not saying that you're emotionally immature if you get het up or defensive or triggered, not in any way, shape or form. The people that connect with these readings, or where they really touch them, these are the emotionally deep people who have taken time to kind of work out what is happening in their life when it comes to their emotions, because they've had so many towers happen to them. And towers can either, especially if you resist a tower, it can make you wither. You can fall to pieces, like this person here is. This person is falling to pieces because they're resisting the tower moment that they're going through. And then there's people who don't, and you learn that. That's a learned behavior. And there's an encouragement here for someone here, if you are still feeling triggered by your past ex, whether that is a past ex from 6 months ago or 10 years ago, that is an encouragement for you to look at that, okay? Because you've got clean up time. Somebody needs to do this, because with the serpentine path to power, this is to do with your root chakra. This person may have been trying to attach to your root chakra, whether they were doing this consciously or subconsciously. You've also got a time for spirit in reverse. This person was very much in their shadow. They're very much in their shadow, and I feel like this person may be going through a dark night of the soul, and they're really pushing against it. You've got a time for spirit, and your sensuality is beautiful. So you have removed a cord. You may have removed many cords from this person, because I feel like this person's energy just keeps reaching out to you. It keeps reaching out to you. So every time that someone is clearing some sort of cord, it's being reattached. The only reason it's being reattached is because there is a wound there that has not been looked at, or you may not know that it's there. And look, you've got a personal, powerful energy shift upside down. And then you have time for spirit, okay? And then healing from heartache. This person, aloha healing, this person has a lot of healing to do. I do feel like this person may have taken you for granted when you were in their life in some way. I really want to sneeze, but it's not coming. I can feel it starting to tickle. I don't know why I feel like sharing with you also. This weird thing with me is that if I need to sneeze and someone gives me eye contact, that sneeze literally just spreads back into my face, and the whole of my face is itching and I can't sneeze. You cannot make eye contact with me when I sneeze. And if it's like a tiny little bit of a sneeze, I have to like blow and stare at a light, and then I can sneeze. Okay, weird fact about Bronwen. There you go. You may get one once a day. I feel like you were a very soothing or healing energy in this person's life, but they took you for granted. They took you for granted. This wasn't the person you were supposed to spend the rest of your life with, and you may have already known this. You clearly see clairvoyance and breaking dawn. You may have seen this. There may have been a real opposition or your characters were too opposite. It's almost like, you know, being really, really, really passionate about your religion, and the person that you are with is atheist. It could be that you are, you know, devout Christian, and then you start dating someone who is kind of like, yeah, I don't mind it, you know, I'm not really into religion, but it's okay. And over time, their belief and their opinions about, say, for example, about your religion, become more and more kind of like less accepting. Because the thing is, I would never tell someone, don't date someone who isn't of the same religion or faith as you, or don't, you know, because opposites can work out. I would never say that. I can only go from experience that the more that we develop as spiritual beings having a human experience, the more awakenings that we have, the more that we are finding our I am, you know, connecting with our I am presence and knowing thyself, the less we are going to vibrate with people who are on slightly different paths to us. So I am, you know, learning more about spirituality, learning more about myself, diving more into the gifts that I have and developing them and trusting them. And the partner that I was with, that didn't interest him, but he wasn't disrespectful. He was very respectful of the fact that that is what I like to practice. But then there is that divide, isn't there, where you cannot share that part of yourself with that person because it's not something that they're interested in. It's just not their bag. It's not their thing. I feel like whoever it is from the past for you, this person, maybe they're connecting some sort of dots, that you may have been right about something when it comes to your faith, when it comes to what you believe, when we're looking at things outside of ourselves, outside of the 3D. It's almost like when you have your first spiritual awakening and you kind of have that idea that there's something bigger or grander happening, but you can't kind of put your finger on what that is just yet. You're kind of just like, there's interconnectedness going on here. I need to kind of figure this out. I feel like whoever this person is for you may be seeing signs and synchronicities and maybe going, is there something here? So this person may be going through their first dark night of the soul, or going through a spiritual awakening, but they're resisting it and they just keep trying to reach out for you because you were safety. Whether it was draining or not, you were safety. I am reborn and breaking dawn. Yeah, they're pushing against it. They are pushing against it. This can be from childhood trauma. This could just be from stubbornness. Okay, but this is a wound of some sort. Now, why have we been told about this? Sweet memories. Tempting offer has a high price. They did something. They did something, because sweet memories and tempting offer has a high price. This is almost like regretting something that they did, because now they're thinking back to the memories that they had of you and how it hurt you. Now, this could be them cheating. This could be addictive personality traits. It could be abuse. And that could be physical abuse, emotional abuse, trigger warning right here. Okay. Or it could be as little as them being extremely absent in a relationship, which is enough to create such a distance that you go from being in a couple to being single in a couple, if that makes sense. Okay, and you've got aloha healing underneath. I told you with miracles, this person, you were their lucky charm. Okay, can I get 2 cards representing the collective, please? Especially when it comes to the connection here. Important end, new beginning. An important end, a new beginning. This is very much kind of like Piscean energy of transformation, of bringing in endings, because with Aries in the first house of being new beginnings, that is when we're really going for a transformation of, I understand why this went wrong. I understand their faults in this relationship, but I understand my faults. I understand how I encouraged that behaviour, or how I made excuses for that behaviour, or how, when it says on here, why do you let people talk to you like that? It could have been that was what you needed to heal in that relationship. And that's what was presented to you. You may have had an abusive partner who just made you feel really flipping small, and you allowed it because at the time that may have been the illusion that you had over your third eye of that is what you deserved, or that was what you were worth. And it wasn't until you left that relationship that you went, no, I didn't deserve that in any way, shape or form. I see what the lesson was that the universe was sending me. I am now stronger. I love myself more. And that's just an example, okay? You also have what comes around. what I get here is that, yeah, this was karma. This was literally karma, an important end, a new beginning. I don't know if this was foretold to you. For someone here, they may have had a reading being told that the relationship they were in was not the relationship for them. And that maybe have been at the start of the relationship, not for all. And you miss someone. You see clearly clairvoyance. It's okay if you still miss parts of this person, or there's something about, you wish that at the start of it had stayed the way it had at the start of the relationship, but you have to remember that there's a difference between limerence and love. Okay, and we all go through limerence. Limerence is when we are love drunk, and it's literally a chemical reaction, which is why it affects, you know, how we sleep, how we concentrate, whether we want to eat or not. It's love drunkenness. It is when all you can do is, the minute there's a message, you pick it up and you're like, oh my gosh, have they text me? Oh, okay. Oh, and you know, and you blush when you think of them. You have butterflies. Can you imagine if that was love for the rest of your life? You'd never be able to work. You wouldn't be able to, you know, you'd lose all your friends. You wouldn't speak to your family anymore. It's not healthy to do that the whole way. But it's almost like that is what we do to bond with somebody that, you know, when you think caveman to cavewoman kind of, that primordial id that we have within us, it's to mate. It's to find someone who we connect with, that we're going to be with for the rest of our life. It's not until after limerence fades that we then see whether it's worth working on. That's what true love is. And there is either it's coming from you or it's coming from this person, of them looking back at when you first got together, and that love drunkenness, when you can't keep your hands off each other, when you haven't shown your complete true self yet, but you're getting comfortable in doing so, where you're doing things together, where you laugh at each other's jokes, where you like each other's company, where you haven't really shown each other your wounds yet. And that can last anywhere, I suppose, between 3 months to, let's say, 9 months. And then after that, you start, the things that you found cute in the other person, endearing, are starting to become annoying. And that's where you test whether or not, do you love that person? Can you put up with the fact that they are always dropping their clothes on the floor rather than putting them in the hamper? Or they always leave the toilet seat up. Do you know that I have in the middle of the night with my ex, in the middle of the night, gone to go to the toilet and saw my life flash before my flipping eyes in the darkness, where I went to sit down and there was no toilet seat there, and I literally fell into the toilet. That, men, please, I ask you with love, put the flipping toilet seat down when you're finished. Put it down for our safety, for our safety. But there's things like this, and I'm getting here that with this important end and new beginning and what comes around, this is, you've got 9 on there for, you know, the witch at the end of the world, an important end, a new beginning, and then you have 8. There is something that you've manifested something, and what you manifested, especially with this, the witch at the end of the world, an important end, a new beginning. I keep seeing these sand climbers. I can never remember the name of these, but I keep seeing these because something is about to come in for you, but you're being asked to be very present. I just finished reading a book by Mitch Albom. Where is it? I think it's over. I'm going to grab it. Okay. This book is worth reading. Okay. Oi. So this is the book that I just finished reading. It's called The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom. Okay, he's the author of Tuesdays with Maury and The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and they're both really good books. But this book, and no, this is not a sponsor or anything like that. I love reading. I love books. It stretches your vocabulary and your imagination, and it fills you up in a different way than movies do. This book, I'll read the back just quickly, and it says, banished for centuries as punishment for trying to measure time, the inventor of the world's first clock is finally granted freedom along with a mission, a chance to redeem himself by teaching 2 people the true meaning of time. He returns to our world and embarks on a journey with 2 unlikely partners, a teenage girl who's about to give up on life, and a wealthy, aging businessman who wants to live forever. To save himself, he must save them both. Okay, now, this is about time. It's about looking back. Anyone that hasn't read this book and you're interested, go and get this book. You can find it on Amazon. I got this in a charity shop in like a thrift store for like £2, which is like $3 or something. But you can find this anywhere. Now, what I got from this book, because everything that kept coming up for me, signs and synchronicities, was talking about time. And how, especially at the start of this, it talks about how we are constantly talking about time. We don't have enough time. Time flies. I need to rush. What time is it? You are being asked to look back at the last relationship that you had. How does it honestly make you feel? Because irrespective of if this person keeps reaching out to you, the only way that you're going to be able to, I heard peacefully, with peace in your heart and peace in your mind, the only way that you're going to be able to remove that energy permanently so that you can move on, especially with this energy of wanting to move on, an important end, a new beginning, and what comes around, the three fates, is to peacefully be able to look back and go, this is what happened in this relationship. This is where I got hurt. This is where I hurt this person. This is, these are their faults. These are their faults. And these are my faults. This is what I did in the relationship that encouraged it. This is what should not have happened to me in this relationship and I didn't deserve it. And then doing the same thing for them. And that's irrespective of what type of relationship you had. I am not saying that if you were in a relationship with domestic violence that you are supposed to open your heart for love and compassion to that person. And if that is the kind of relationship that you had, this is more about you looking back at yourself, looking back at what you deserved and what you didn't deserve. Why do you let people talk to you like that? Why are you telling yourself these things, intrusive thoughts and worthiness? There is a real need, a nurturing hand. It's giving me I heard Gemini and Cancer. So this is talking to yourself. This is looking at also past, for someone here, this is like the mother's bloodline. What was passed down? Are there any kind of things that you feel are it's almost like the last lesson that you need to learn when it comes to relationships, in what you need to let go of with peace, which means doing it at your own pace. And if it takes time, it takes time. There's no rush here. And that goes back to that kind of, comparing to other people's healing. And that doesn't have to be just the person in the past or this person that keeps trying to reach out. This is also for you. You don't need to compare your healing to anyone else, because I do get questions of people going, well, when is this going to come in? And when are they going to get justice? And tell me more about this. And it's stop rushing things, because everything happens in divine timing. And even if an injustice happened 10 years ago and you still haven't seen karmic retribution for it, it doesn't mean that you won't. But the more that you focus on going, when is this coming in? Give me the time. When is this coming in? The more you kind of like push against that. It's almost like you're resisting that or throwing more, spanners into the cogs of whatever divinely is happening in the background that is being orchestrated in your favour to get that divine, karmic retribution. Be present. Be present. Because we've got here release of power. Someone's holding on to something. And I'm going to put this in the middle because I feel like there is a scar that someone has that they're calling healed. And when I say that, it's almost like when you go and get a tattoo. I remember I got a tattoo on my leg years ago, nearly 20 years ago. I've got 3 stars on my leg. And me and my sisters all have 3 stars in different parts of our body, but that's how it connects us. And I remember going back to have it recoloured because not all the colour had taken, but I'd waited months and I'd gone back and it hurt even more than the first time. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I spoke to the tattooist and he was like, it takes ages for all of the layers underneath to properly heal, all the way down to that last layer. So it's going to feel like scarred tissue when you're tattooing over it. So even if from the start, the first message that came through was, though I cannot see it, I feel it deeply. And I was feeling like this was a connection. This may be a connection to whoever this is in the past, because I feel like this person, they don't have to be a soul connection. It doesn't have to be a soulmate. However, I feel like a lot of the people in the collective that listen to this channel or connect into this channel, even if you're a new face, You feel very deeply, which is why I was getting Cancer coming out. There's a lot of deep feeling here, or pouring, not obsessively into other people, but some people go overboard with how much they pour into others. And I don't mean that as a, you know, to put you down in any way, shape or form. But there is a pouring into other people, and they love your energy. People feel safe in your energy, but there can sometimes be an imbalance in how much you give to how much they give back, and then it becoming an obligation, or people just going, friendship wise, oh, I can always phone that person up and just emotionally dump on them because that's the type of friend they are, when really there should be a boundary there. It should be, no, you need to ask me whether I have space for you to emotionally dump. You can text me before, because I might say no and I don't want to have that conversation. That's healthy. It's okay to say no. And I feel like with why do you let people talk to you like that? It's coming back to this, with this release your power and it being in reverse. I feel like this person from the past, they may have highlighted to you a wound that was still there, that may not even been created by them, it may have been there before. And this is an opportunity right now to look back. And I know there will be people in the comments that are like, I'm healed, I'm healed. Who are you trying to prove that to? It's your life, it's your choice how you decide to go on from reading this message that comes through here. And I mean, I always say to my guides, before I start readings, I invite in the guides, the teams of highest light and resonance of those who need to hear these messages right now. So if you hear this message and you are still adamant in the comments, I'm healed, then there is something that you're pushing against the tide. There's something you're resisting. And this is the reason why this person from the past keeps getting into your energy. They keep getting into your energy because there is a wound there that is hiding under a bit of scar tissue that you're being asked to look at. And I know that I get a lot of people going, oh my gosh, every video you're talking about healing. That's because that's my job. That is my job. And if you're here every week and you're listening to my videos every week, obviously there is a message that your guides want you to hear. And if you're not hearing it, you're going to keep hearing it over and over and over until you go, okay, I don't want to study for this exam anymore. I'd rather just take the exam and pass. It's your choice whether you do it or not, okay? Now, for personal reasons, I tap out. What does that mean? For personal reasons, I tap out. Now, I know that was quite a long message that was needed. Truth be told, a message in the bottle. I don't know if this is you, like telling this person psychically that you no longer wish to be in this cycle with them, but releasing your power is still in reverse, okay, dress of alchemy. And this is a shared connection that you have with this past person. This could be a past life connection. It doesn't have to be. But I heard old souls. For so many of you, it is, okay, between two worlds. I feel like this ends in this lifetime, or you're being encouraged by your guides to actually do that. Do you know what? I keep doing this, and I've realised that my tooth is hurting a little bit. As someone having issues with their teeth or with their mouth, someone had a stroke recently. Why is that coming through? I heard guided to expose them. Something that you do in this life is going to expose. I heard medical fraud or medical negligence. Now that is a completely different message, and we'll do that in another reading, okay? But between two worlds being in reverse, no longer with co-create next to it, no longer are you going to be the supporting act in your own life when it comes to relationships, be that work relationships, be that romantic or platonic, because it all begins or starts or ends with you. So as much as this is about a past relationship, it's more than just a past relationship. It's more than just this person who is whiling out and thinking about you. This comes down to the crux of finding that scarred tissue. When you think of this past person, write down how you feel. Literally write down the first thing that comes to your head. What's the first memory you think of when you think of this person? What are some of the happy memories you had? Why were they happy? Were you over giving to make that person feel happy? Were they giving to you? What was happening in that memory? Then think of the things that made you feel uncomfortable or disempowered or made you feel less than in that relationship, and then start looking back at other relationships. And they don't have to be romantic. It can be your college friends, or it could have been the friends you had in high school when you were growing up. It could be the jobs that you've had. There's, and I don't feel like it's big, but I feel like it is hiding. And it's stopping you from being your true self completely. Someone here is scared to take that, the final leap of just being themselves. Because with this 3 fates, what comes around, and then the end, the witch at the end of the world, an important end, a new beginning. That's a new you. When you find where that scar tissue is, and you find where that wound is underneath, and you are present with yourself, what you co-create next makes you the shining focus. You'll be the lead. You're the lead in your own life. And I feel like this is something that you've wanted for a long time, and you've got regeneration underneath. And it means that not only can this person will no longer be able to connect to you, and they need that themselves. You've got to remember that people come into our lives as lessons. They come in as blessings. They come in as Saturn returns. But we're the same thing for them. We are both blessings and lessons for those people too. And this person, there's a lot of codependency coming from this person. This person needs to stand on their own 2 feet. You are not responsible for them. And there may be this energy of having to grow up too quickly, of having to be responsible. I'm getting a lot of Virgoan energy and Cancerian energy. Truth be told, this could be a Libra. And look here and now is in reverse. There's something from the past that you're carrying as an illusion, and you're being asked, why did I hear snap out of it? You don't need to snap out of it. You need to go within. What is it that you're not? And look, twice this is upside down. Someone is resisting a transformation that you have been manifesting in for most of your life. Most of your life. What is the scar? What is the scar tissue that you would like them to look at? What is the scar tissue you would like them to look at? What is the scar tissue you'd like them to look at? Pluto, transformation. This is your, I was going to say 6th house. So this could be Virgo in energy, the Hermit. Because I'm getting introverted. And the thing is, for me, I resonate very much with a statement that I heard from, I think it was a therapist or a psychologist, who said that being introverted is a learned behaviour. And I was like, excuse me, I'm introverted. I like my own space. Excuse me, what are you talking about? And I got my back up about it. Like, excuse me, no, it's not. And she explained, and it makes sense. We are internally, and at the crux of it, we are social beings. You go back to caveman era, you go back to that time where if you were on the fringes of society, if you spent time by yourself, you most likely wouldn't survive. No one likes to be rejected out of society or out of cliques or out of groups for a reason. Because back then, if you were kicked out of the village or you were kicked out of, that community, you had to fend for yourself, by yourself. There was no one watching your back while you were sleeping. There was no one checking and looking after your young, while you had to go and hunt and gather. You were doing it by yourself, and you most likely wouldn't survive. So when it comes to being an introvert, that is a learned behaviour. We are at the crux of it, or, we're social beings. Someone here is pushing against something that may have happened to make them introverted. What made you introverted? What was it that made you want to spend time by yourself? Because being empathetic and being an empath are 2 different things. Okay, you can give empathy to someone else and kind of imagine what it's like to be in their shoes, but to be an actual empath, to read their energy, is completely different. And I don't know why I'm being told to talk about the 2 different homes or households that we grow up in, the silent one or the noisy one, the one where people don't communicate at all, or the one where people argue. That seems to be part of how somebody has learned the behaviour of escapism through introversion, and you're being asked to look back at that. Where is that wound? Where is that scar I had early years or early childhood? Have a look at this, okay? Because someone's pushing against the transformation that they asked for. I was about to put this down next to the past person. I feel like there is a need also to be very aware of whether or not you're taking on other people's emotions. And that came up in a previous reading of someone, it was on TikTok, and this lady was saying how shocked she was by her therapist telling her, her therapist said to her, you need to stop taking on other people's emotions. And she didn't even realise she was doing that. So maybe she was an empath. I'll keep it quite short because you can find it in another reading, of her saying that, you know, she had an experience and she was talking to her friend about it, and she was saying, I'm really sad about this. And then she stopped and was like, no, my therapist said to stop placing just emotions that aren't mine on an experience. So let's figure out what I was actually feeling. And she, you know, she worked it out. She spoke to her friend, and her friend Googled it for her. And her friend was like, you felt humiliated, which is completely different from sad. And you're going to react completely different depending on feeling embarrassed or humiliated or just sad. And I feel like with this being over here, I was talking as if it was you, the collective, that was feeling this push against, you know, some sort of transformation. And I've placed it down next to the past person. If when you were with this person, especially with a lot of codependency coming out, there seems to be a lot of energy transference with emotions. Were you dealing with this person's emotions, or were you made to feel like you had to deal with their emotions? Was there gaslighting, or them pretending that that didn't happen, or something didn't happen, or they didn't act in a certain way when it just happened and you watched this? There is some toxicity here. This is why you were the safe space for them, because they could just emotionally dump onto you. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, look, stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. And then house 4, cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. So this, wow, 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 wow. So this is what you're being asked to look at. And Leo coming out with children as well. Self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. You're being asked to look back at your family home. Did you have to deal with family issues when you were a kid that you didn't understand? Were things kind of projected onto you or gaslit onto you? Because with your 5th house coming out with house 4, cultural family roots, home, peace and comfort, and then self-confidence, loyalty and creativity, it literally could have been that there was something here that your confidence was sapped in some way, but it's getting linked to how someone here had to deal with someone else's emotions, that they were placed on you in some way. And this is the wound that you're being asked to look at. The reason why you're being asked to look at this is because going forward, if you are able to see where this wound is when it comes to your emotions, are they yours? Are they somebody else's? Especially being an empath, a super empath, being a high priest or high priestess. Being able to see that divide, being able to divide that means that no matter if it is a romantic relationship that comes forward, a business partnership, a friendship, you will have that healthy boundary placed in there. It's not saying that you don't, or you're not working towards healthy boundaries, but when you are feeling everyone's feels and it's mushing between, is this mine, is it theirs? It's a lot harder then to place in a boundary, a fine, definitive line, if you don't know which is yours and which isn't. Okay? Now this wound, or this hiding, this little hiding, cunning thing that's hiding away from you, this is what you're being told to look at. It gives a lot of empowerment. A lot of empowerment. This is why you have this person reaching out. They can feel that you are drifting away. You may be already working on this. Aries came out. Independence, bravery and passion. And then house 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service and healing, but this was upside down. And then you've got instigation, bravery and pioneering spirit. This may be hard for someone here. It may be difficult. But you're being reminded that we co-create what it is that we think and feel. We co-create whatever it is that we believe is possible. And I was watching, her name is Taylor Tomlinson, I think. She is a comedian, she's funny. And she was talking about when she went to the therapist, and the therapist was like, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. She was like, what? And she's like, no, that's not a good thing. And she was talking about in relationships where, you know, her past partner had cheated on her, and she gave her all the details, and then she said, well, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, you are assuming that this person is, you know, there's a lack of trust there, so you don't give them the space to earn your trust, to the point that you push them away and they do the thing that you said that they wouldn't. This is what you're being asked to look at. So that, because there's an auspicious time of growth coming in for you in all areas, in finance, in love, in business, in friendships. But this stuff can get self-sabotaged if we don't look at the things that have been forgotten about. Because it's not saying that you don't heal. You are healing. You know, you are invested in yourself. But when we don't know that something from such a long time ago is affecting in such subtle, nuanced ways how we think and feel about ourselves, or how we think and feel about certain relationships, or what we feel we are worthy of. So, for example, if you've been manifesting in the love of your life, I'm just using that as an example, and then you're told in the tarot reading, next week you're going to meet the love of your life, and they're going to be this height, and they're going to be this muscly or this curvy, they're going to have all the same interests as you, they're going to be really direct with the way that they, you know, the way that they kind of communicate, and they're going to do this with you and that with you. If you're told in a week's time this person's coming in, how would you react honestly? Because if you have this wound here from all the way past back, you're going to self-sabotage. You're going to be like, I'm not ready. Oh my gosh, no. And then your feminine divine yin goes into overdrive and starts making up these things. Well, they're going to let me down just like that person did, and that person, that person. And that's the law of assumption. That's you placing an assumption that this is going to happen. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You then sabotage that relationship before it's even started. Okay? Independence, bravery and passion. We started with Pisces energy. We're ending with Aries. The way that you get that new beginning, the way that you forge forward in safety in yourself, in feeling very aligned, in feeling peace, which is what we were talking about, is by looking at whatever this is, whatever this nuanced, hidey little wound is that is trying to kind of dodge you shining a light on it. By looking at this now, no matter if it is a romantic relationship or a business partnership or a friendship, you will be going into that knowing that only the best is going to happen, because that is what's divinely guided, rather than allowing this little fear to come in. And it also means that people from your past stay the past, because you've learnt that. You've learnt that lesson. There's no need to repeat it. I think I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, look, Yang, proactivity, expression, doing and move and forward motion. That's what you need right now. I'm going to leave it there. I hope they gave you some confirmation and clarity on what you already intuitively knew. I know that my readings can get long, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason why it had to be this in-depth. Okay? I love you all. If that resonated for you and you are new and you'd liked what you heard and you'd like to see more and you'd like to see when I post, I'd love for you to hit on the like, the subscribe and the notification bell so you can see when that happens. If you are a returning subscriber, hearts, kisses, I love you guys. Anyone that wants a personal reading, all of my information is in the description box. With that being said, I love you. I'll see you later.